Attention all SaaS founders. If you're currently struggling to fulfill your service with ease, or maybe you're trying your hardest to retain your customers, but they just keep cancelling, they keep churning, then this video is going to be for you. My name is Mike AJ King, and I'm the proud founder of Sensala, a growth consultancy firm based here in the UK. Okay, we specialize in helping SaaS founders scale all the way up to 5 million ARR. And we do this by building out growth infrastructures that solve every failure scenario before they happen, making scaling inevitable. Now, as promised in this video, I'll be sharing how you can fulfill your service with less friction, retain your customers, giving you healthy recurring revenue, and increase business valuation. But before doing that, it only makes sense that I show you some of our client wins from our partners doing the exact same thing, because it's getting kind of crazy. Clarify, we only work with companies that sell a software as a service so that we can craft great strategies to achieve amazing results for them. So at any point in this video, if this sounds like it would align with where you're trying to go, I'll invite you to click the link below this video and get free access to our SaaS scaling community, where I'm going to drop even more gems and insights on how to scale without friction. But yeah, let's get into it. Right, so I decided to put this video together because as part of the 7-day series, where I go through the 7 deadly sins of SaaS, pillars that, if they're not dialed in, it's incredibly hard to scale. I decided to group these two together because they happen near enough at the same time, or within like a short overlap of like a month or 3 months. And these two are fulfillment and retention. And I say this because if you have a SaaS where the user has the option to subscribe on a month-to-month basis, which I'd say is most SaaS companies these days anyway, if your fulfillment isn't dialed in as soon as they click payment, they might decide they don't want to stick around next month. And this is especially true in the B2C market because people want seamless experience. Okay, so this video will be for you if your current SaaS churn rate is over 5%, so over 5% of your customers part ways month on month. Your customer journey data shows your new users are barely interacting with your software. Okay, increasing negative reviews and negative customer experience reports. You're struggling with the balancing act of ensuring each individual user gets the most from your software. Once a prospect becomes a user, you don't currently have a step-by-step system to ensure they consistently solve their problems with your product. Okay, now for every one of our partners, before we build and release an infrastructure inside their business, for the most part, we tend to identify at least 2 aspects of their fulfillment, creating operational drag. And to highlight this, I wanted to quickly go through why Amazon works so well, especially with what they've done with Prime. Okay? Now, first of all, to be able to place an order, Amazon have to acquire you as a user. Okay? They get all your information in exchange for the opportunity for you to spend money with them. Why? Because Amazon realized there's a bigger game we can play. Okay, think about it. They then invite you to look at anything you want. Okay, and they make a note of it just in case you leave, so they can show it to you later. Okay, either an email, as you scroll through Instagram, Google, etc., and they save it to your account. That's big. They save it to your account for ease, so it's right in front of you next time you come back. It's the first thing you see. Okay, those moving parts, okay, those pieces working together, that's an infrastructure. Okay, and just to really highlight this, go on most online stores, they'll give you the option to check out as a guest. Okay, not Amazon. And they're willing to acquire literally everyone for free, okay, because they'll provide so much value that you want to spend money with them and buy things, okay? And just in case you want even more value, okay, if you want cloud storage instead of paying another company, if you want to watch movies and TV, if you want next day delivery, if you want a music streaming service, if you want to read books, if you want to read ebooks, and so much more, just in case you want that, okay, they'll monetize it and provide all that value, I think, for $8.99. Because before that, you're a user and you may spend money on products, okay, but that isn't guaranteed. Okay, but once they monetize you, they have monthly recurring revenue. You can only do this, literally the only way this works is if you create an insane amount of value. Okay, and with that level of value that you provide, you need to have the best people in order to deliver on it. Okay, so clearly Amazon leverage a lot of people and they look for talent. They retain the ones who exceed targets, let go of the ones who don't, and they want to create the Earth's most. What's their slogan? It's they want to create the Earth's most customer-centric company, right? So they recognize to get the best out of their customers, which means what? Their money, their reputation. They saw that to do that, they need to acquire or create the best talent. Okay, and I actually had a stint working for Amazon. I was at Amazon Fresh, so I've seen it firsthand. I wasn't overly passionate about it. I was, using the money I got from there to throw into running ads and grow my ad agency back in the day. However, what I did see is how some of the people speak about the company and they admire it so much and they're motivated to work even harder to create a better experience for the customers. Okay. Can you imagine what would happen to Amazon if customer placed orders and didn't receive any confirmation of their order or follow-up communications? Okay, or if they didn't have a customer support infrastructure to smooth out any bumps in the road? Or if they focus so heavily on attracting new users, but not enough in making sure that you do repeat business with them? Okay. And without the right talent, you have issues with fulfillment and customer retention. Okay, so when you don't have a clear fulfillment process in place, here are some of the issues that you start to face. Okay, customer dissatisfaction. Without a clear fulfillment process, SaaS founders may struggle to consistently deliver their product or service to customers in a timely and satisfactory manner. And essentially that leads to customer dissatisfaction, negative reviews, a poor reputation. Goes without saying, no one wants these things, but the fact is customers might perceive your SaaS as unreliable and unprofessional, and that leads them to churn. That leads to loss of revenue. Okay. Operational inefficiencies. Okay, without a clear fulfillment process, you might face operational inefficiencies and a lot of operational drag. Okay, processes are disorganized. It leads to delays, errors, or even like a duplication where people do the same thing twice. Okay, and that's a lot of wasted time, that's resources, that's increased costs. Operational inefficiencies hinder your scalability. But the bigger picture is they limit your company's ability to actually handle growth effectively. This is one of the biggest reasons why a lot of SaaS companies struggle to scale. Okay, because even if your front end looks like a brand new Ferrari, your back end might look like, I don't want to diss any car companies, but your back end might not look that great. Hey. Now, retaining existing customers and reducing churn rates is a big challenge in SaaS. Okay, so if you're at this stage, if you're experiencing this, you're not alone. It's super common, and that's because it's super easy for customers to switch to alternative solutions. It's super easy. Click cancel, click sign up on different software. Okay, but the reason Amazon works so well and they've built a moat hard for their competitors to catch up is they've built up a strong brand around their front end SaaS offer, which was designed around convenience. Okay, everything you need, come find it here. Put it all in the basket. We'll work with our international distribution network to get it to you. Okay. Then they paired that with a very sticky backend, which is we'll get it to you even faster tomorrow if we can. For $8.99 a month, we'll make your life even easier. So you don't have to spend your money with all these different people. We'll do it all in the house and we'll wrap it up under the Prime experience. Okay. I've heard Amazon even selling cars now. Okay. Or if they're not, they're about to. Okay, now if you can't retain your customers and your users, then you can't send them further into your ecosystem and be able to charge more. Okay, if you can't get superstar talent in, you start to feel more friction when you try to scale. Not even just when you try to scale, just even in like the day-to-day of running your organization. Okay, because you take on more and more and you try and do as much of it yourself. You start wearing all the hats in your business, okay, including running ads, trying to manage the acquisition, trying to have the best fulfillment, client retention, talent acquisition, operations, client ascension, and so on, without a clear path or realistic timeline to grow. Okay, and what starts to happen is when you go down this path, the main thing is no longer the main thing. Okay. Now, providing excellent customer support and ensuring customer success, they're both arguably what's most important in SaaS. Otherwise, customers churn. So what you want to do is make sure you've really got the following dialed in. So for your fulfillment, you need an onboarding flow or system, something that happens on demand as soon as someone signs up, step by step. procedure or protocol. Okay, then you need to decide what the best platform is for support, how to increase usage of your product. Okay, there's no point having users who are barely using it. They might as well not be users. But then it's about really building out the right team structure and being accountable for every action once a prospect becomes a paying user. Okay, and after that point, in terms of retaining them, it's about creating massive amount of value and increasing the value of the lifetime value of each individual user. Okay. Now, as an example of what this looks like, one of the mechanisms we build out within a growth infrastructure looks like this. Okay, so we have fulfillment and retention. Okay, now in fulfillment, essentially we'll consult, and where needed, we'll build soft and hard assets to fulfill in the most effective way. Okay, but what that really means is we build out a protocol, so a set of things that are done one after the other to make sure users are getting great results. Okay, so we integrate all the systems used in-house, all the learnings that we've taken from our partners when it comes to building like a leverage fulfillment to take care of users, making sure they're getting through it seamlessly without, this is big, without the founder having to be involved in the day-to-day. Okay, plus, like Amazon, all the right talent in there to install, run, and ramp up the systems. Okay, essentially, this is so you as the founder don't have to be present in the day-to-day fulfillment, and we can focus on the bigger levers to pull in order to grow. Okay, so what happens now is because you're getting customers fantastic results using your software, they don't just want to stick around, but they also want to see how they can get even more value from it. Guess what? You can now charge them more and move them through your Ascension model. Okay, now essentially, this isn't a problem, and you could choose how fast or slowly you want to scale. Okay, but your fulfillment will determine customer success. Okay, and this is where it gets interesting. If a customer pays for your thing, they get what they expected and have a great experience, guess what happens? Okay, they start to speak about your thing. They become champions of your thing. This is why customer success, in my opinion anyway, is arguably what's most important in SaaS, because then what happens is you hit this feedback loop where you start to spend less and less to acquire new users. Okay, so check this out. Your software becomes an asset that's part of their daily life. It becomes a habit. They consume it every day. And what happens when you're getting great results, when you're enjoying something? You start to talk about it. You start to share it with your friends, your family, whoever will listen, really. What happens then is they acquire new users. Okay, and those new users have different problems. Okay, so all that happens now is you live here where you solve future problems, because those problems you solve will keep becoming a part of someone's daily life, and they'll keep sharing it and it'll keep acquiring new users. And this flywheel of network effects really starts to kick in. Okay. And essentially, here's how this mechanism solves fulfillment and allows you to scale with less friction. Your users get more value than they pay for. They stay for longer, churn drops. Product utilization. You provide so much value that your software becomes a part of their daily lives. Again, subject to use case, subject to what problem your SaaS solves. Okay, your negative reviews go down, negative customer experiences go down. And both the fulfillment and retention mechanisms are leveraged, which means you no longer manually ensure each individual user gets the most from your software. And once a prospect becomes a user, you now currently have a step-by-step system to ensure that they consistently solve their problems with your product. Okay. Alternatively, you can give someone access to your software and let them figure it out with a few pre-recorded videos. Okay, but you need to have a deep understanding of your prospect's pains and know your software is their solution. It just is. Okay. And if you've made it to this stage, then you've positioned yourself as such. But what happens when they don't get the amazing results that they had in mind? Firstly, difficulty in scaling. Okay, a lack of clear fulfillment process can pose challenges when scaling the SaaS. Okay, as your customer base expands, it becomes increasingly important to have streamlined processes in place to handle increased demand. Without a clear fulfillment process, scaling operations can get chaotic and lead to further inefficiencies or breakdowns in customer service. Okay. When you can't retain, you have a high churn rate. Okay, customer churn basically refers to the rate at which customers cancel their subscriptions or discontinue using your SaaS. And if you can't retain your customers, you're probably going to have a high churn rate, and that leads to a decline in revenue, increased customer acquisition costs, and hindered long-term growth. Okay. Unsatisfactory customer experience. Poor customer experience can contribute to customer churn. Basically, if customers encounter problems with onboarding, with using your product, receiving timely support, any of these, they're probably, what would you do? You're going to get frustrated. You're probably going to look for something else. You're going to seek alternative solutions. And if it's me, I'm probably going to competitors. Okay. Inadequate customer experience can result in negative reviews, a damaged reputation, and lost opportunities for upselling and cross-selling. And then from that point, it's an upwards battle. Okay. Lack of perceived value. Your customers are probably more likely to churn if they don't perceive sufficient value from your SaaS. So essentially, if your SaaS can't address their needs, okay, or deliver the benefits that they expected when they signed up, or they can't keep up with their evolving requirements, they're probably going to look elsewhere. Okay, so you have to continuously communicate and demonstrate your value proposition to actually retain them. And then there's the biggie, competitive pressure. I've harped this on all throughout the 7-day series because it's so massive. In a competitive SaaS market, okay, failing to retain your customers results in losing them to competitors. Okay, if your competitors offer better pricing, better features, better customer support, your customers are probably going to switch. Okay, so you have to actually keep an eye out on this competitive landscape and continuously innovate to retain your customers. Maybe, have something your competitors don't, if you know what I mean. Now, if you're thinking of ways to be proactive and handle this, or you're wondering if, we're going to promise you'll hit 1 million by this week Friday, I want to be really clear with you. So check this out. Now, in terms of our side, here's what we don't do. We don't tell you we'll book you 50 new appointments in a week, 400 new clients in a month. We don't work on an agency client basis where you pay us month to month to make anything work. We don't even make our clients wait 3 months to get any kind of amazing results. You've heard it all before. We've heard it all before. We hear it all the time. The reason why SaaS founders are ready and wanting to spend 15 to 20K with us one time, we took every failure scenario a SaaS founder faces when scaling. We take all the components, all the mechanisms for what's working for the fastest growing SaaS companies, and we use that data and leverage those insights to build our infrastructures that solve every scaling obstacle before they happen. And then we release them into SaaS companies. Okay, the entire infrastructure is built and released in the first 4 weeks. You own the whole thing. And then we work together with the founder and leadership team to get it churning out the right outputs, which makes it incredibly hard not to scale. So, if you'd like to see if something like this could work for your business, I'd like to invite you to jump on a demo call with our team as an opportunity to connect, and we'll be able to go a bit more in depth on how you can solve and implement some new solutions. If that sounds good, click the link below this video and see if there's currently space on our calendar for that call. That's it. See you in the next one. Peace out. Bye-bye.